Good afternoon. I'm Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well that you can watch TVJ live by downloading our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1 followed by the words Spot Media. Business and consumer confidence have declined marginally for the first quarter of 2017. The latest findings were made public by the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce JCC at the Spanish Court Hotel in New Kingston this morning. Consumer confidence was 138.7 in the first quarter of this year, below the 151.6 recorded in the previous 2 quarters. Managing Director of Market Research Services Limited, the company that does the survey for the JCC, Don Anderson, says the reason for the fall-off in confidence will be clearer in the next survey. But he says the drop in consumer confidence indicates that consumers are getting impatient with how their expectations are being realized.
A bold statement to make in the absence of the second quarter data. The second quarter data will obviously tell us whether this is true or not. But we're saying consistently throughout that against the background of the sharp fall off in expectations following an election, that did not happen in 2016, but the fact is that consumers have been waiting for the realization of jobs, certainly in the tourist sector, in the construction sector, and the indications are from that fall off from the first quarter of 2017 that perhaps they're saying, well, we're waiting, but we're not seeing it coming.
Business confidence stood at 139.2 in the first quarter of this year. That's slightly below the 142 recorded for the previous quarter. Residents of Green Pond, St. Catherine staged a protest this morning against what they call an act of police brutality. The allegation stems from the fatal shooting of 20-year-old Mitchell Grant, more commonly called Shane of Golden Heights. He was reportedly killed in the community by the police last Wednesday. Residents claim that young people are being targeted in the community as another young man was attacked by the police last night while at a candlelight vigil for Mr. Grant.
The policeman come down in the square and he bust 4 gunshots with a picnic in the crowd. 4 gunshots and then pepper spray. We will pick up pepper spray. We want justice. No more young boy in here by the hands of police.
As the police used excessive force and operated with scant regard for children in the community.
Slick the youth set like this. Back way light in the candle when police jeep they come up. Not even light, the police jeep don't turn on. When me look, right on the police jeep, me run for another square, kick out my shoes, and run. When the police jeep reach up to the youth, the police jump out of the jeep. And when he jump out of the jeep, he grab the youth back way, and he slam him in the wall. And when he slam him in the wall, the youth put up his hands, so I say, officer, what me do? I can't go me the light.
The protest disrupted classes at Farm Primary and Junior High. The school's administration expects that classes will resume tomorrow. 3 persons, including a teenager, were fatally shot at their home on Jones Avenue, Spanish Town, St. Catherine last night. They have been identified as 14-year-old Travis Labon, 43-year-old Yvette Bailey, and 24-year-old Maria Burkett. The incident occurred about 10:25. Residents reportedly heard explosions and called the police. Upon their arrival, the 3 persons were seen with gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead at hospital. Another man who was injured in the attack was treated and released. No motive has yet been established for the killing. With Indicom reporting an increase in police fatal shootings, human rights group Jamaicans for Justice JFJ is again urging the police high command to address the issue. Indicom reported last week that 64 persons were killed by the police between January 1 and May 25. This is a 45% increase over the corresponding period last year. JFJ spokesperson Susan Goff says the group finds it particularly worrying that 1/3 of those killed by the police had no weapons. Mrs. Goff wants the police to use less lethal weapons.
Also, over an extended period, indicated that there needs to be ongoing and continued training in methods that, again, reduce the likelihood of the need for lethal force. I think that when the existing use of force policy is considered, that the following following of that policy that currently exists could indeed lead to a reduction in the numbers of fatal shootings.
Businessman Patrick Powell is scheduled to stand trial today. He is charged with failing to hand over his licensed firearm for inspection to detectives who investigated the shooting death of Kingston College student Kajil Mays in 2011. 11 witnesses are scheduled to give testimony. Mr. Powell went on trial for Kajil's murder but was freed last October after prosecutors decided not to offer further evidence against him. A bittersweet moment for residents of northern Clarendon, where work has started to restore access to communities following the heavy rains. TVJ's Krista Campbell was on a tour with the state and opposition officials on Monday. A tour party of state and opposition officials assessing the flood damage in northern and northwestern Clarendon and promising assistance. Work has started to repair major breakaways on main access roads, but still no word on when electricity and water will be fully restored to affected areas. Officials say major access roads have to be cleared first, and some of that has already started with this excavation at the Trout Hall to Frankfield Main Road.
We don't really feel 100 yet because majority of road not clean yet, and the worst part, we not reach to the worst part yet, and we still don't have no light, no water.
The bridge and a lot of landslide pop down on the pipe and mash up the pipes. Okay, so we wouldn't mind if we could get help from the politician to get back some pipes.
Food drop over Chowtal Pass and Chowtal Square, but we not the middle, nothing. Nothing. You come in a square and it come even water, chuck with water coming in the square, and we no get none.
Social Security Minister Shahini Robinson says her teams are in the worst affected areas giving food and care packages.
There are areas, communities that are still cut off, and we saw them today, and in particular Trout Hall Pass, and we are assessing and arrangements are being made to get food to them. We have been in there at least 3 times. We don't know if airlifting is necessary at this time, so that's why we said that the assessments continue. And the parish office is competent, led by Ms. Graham. They will make the assessments and they will deliver what needs to be delivered.
In areas like Trout Hall Pass, where the only access point, a fording, was washed away in the heavy rains, it's an uncomfortable situation for residents.
Cross it to the bicycle now, we have to lift the bicycle. Yes, so that's the opposite. So the bicycle will be on top and we carrying the bicycle there.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News. Road repairs between the communities of Nolan Hill and Border in St. Andrew are being fast-tracked following major breakaways in the communities 2 weeks ago. The National Works Agency NWA got approval to issue an emergency contract to build a retaining structure. NWA Communication Manager Stephen Shaw told TVJ News that a few contractors were invited to submit tenders.
And we have received those tenders. We have done an evaluation and we intend to, before the end of this week, make an award so that the work can move quickly to the point where the contractor is on ground and a retaining structure is put there so that we can shore up that particular section of the road between Nolan Hill and the Border.
A member of the opposition People's National Party PNP is this afternoon calling on Jamaicans to think carefully before taking part in some activities that have become commonplace in society. Damian Crawford, who was speaking at a recent PNP divisional meeting in Tollgate, Clarendon, said some of those activities are very costly.
$1,000 a day for bleach. If you not start one little partner with 365 bleacher, you could have get every day a partner job 365,000 and start a local wholesale. But instead, you choose now for only consume instead of produce.
There was also a call for Jamaicans to make children a priority while taking pride in their surroundings.
Look good down the yard, look bad. Where is my people? We used to red oak them floor from last night and then rub it with brush tonight. We have so much easier way to make it look as clean as it used to clean. Now we stop clean. I feel shame to be a part of a generation when I fight for nothing.
The young woman them, they dance, a floss. And tomorrow morning when we drive in the area, boss, beg your money for send me picnic at school now. And you there dance the night before. And Monday morning your picnic can't go to school. Them things that we need to find a way to see, oh, but what can we do?
The Coralville Gardens community in St. Andrew now has a new community center. The center, which was officially opened on Sunday, will provide, among other things, a stable meeting place for community members to gather. The president of the Coralville Gardens Citizens Association says the new structure follows a promise from a Member of Parliament, Anthony Hilton, and months of meetings with corporate sponsors. And the Member of Parliament for Western St. Andrew, Anthony Hilton, says it will also serve as a common area to address conflict among community members. The general manager of Carib Cement says the project is part of the company's corporate responsibility. And in news overseas, at least 10 people were killed and 40 wounded after a car bomb exploded outside an ice cream shop in central Baghdad early today. A few hours later, another car bomb exploded near the General Retirement Department in central Baghdad. In that incident, one person was killed and 6 others wounded. In a statement published on Twitter and the Telegram or Instagram, ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack.
When you look at the video, the one thing that eyewitnesses described was the mix of blood and ice cream. These were families going out, enjoying Ramadan. It just started a few days ago. People go out, they spend the nights late into the night before the fast begins again the next day, and a really time for family. And hitting this ice cream parlor, a lot of young people, a lot of children there. In the aftermath, you see the children running around, and that death toll, Robin, is slowly ticking up as well. It now stands at 12 people killed in that deadly blast. ISIS saying that they're specifically going after Iraq's Shiite community. They said that in a message. Iraq's Minister of Interior says that he's going to track down the people responsible.
And in sports, with the Red Stripe Premier League in its final stages, the Jamaica Football Federation is hoping for an early start to the Women's Premier League. But as we hear in this report from TVJ's Karen Madden, those plans could be thwarted by a familiar struggle.
So I think that it is a general problem of women in sports, that, you know, in all areas, women have to try and show their worth twice as hard as men.
It's the perennial problem which bedevils women's sports, a dried up sponsorship pool translating into no money. Following the pullout of longtime sponsor Sherwin Williams last year, the league almost came to a grinding halt until the Sports Development Foundation stepped in on the recommendation of Sports Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange. According to the Director of Operations at the Jamaica Football Federation, Janice Rose Brown, the JFF went to market early to secure sponsorship, but so far no one is biting.
I think that women deserve the opportunity. We know that when women get the opportunity, that it rebounds to their families, to their communities, and much more to themselves, to the extent that so many of them over the years have gotten scholarships.
Reggae girl Sharona Forrester benefited from one of those scholarships to the University of the West Indies and is on her way to the University of Oxford to take up a Rhodes Scholarship. The current situation saddens her.
And a lot of persons have actually gotten scholarships to go to school. A lot of them are working now as professional football athletes. There are 3 now down in Israel, and it's something that should be continued.
Rose Brown also pointed to the benefits that accrue to women footballers.
We have kept them in the loop in the event because we are determined that women footballers should get the opportunities that male footballers get because they deserve it and they can deliver.
The JFF is hoping to sign off on sponsorship so that the league can begin in July, and it still has the SDF in the loop in case all else fails. Forrester is remaining positive.
We need to now see football as a professional space. When you're going to your clubs, when your club going out to a let's say an away game, how your deportment, and let people now be attracted to the game. You know, I've seen sports rise.
But should the JFF target corporations headed by women?
So 1-1 Coca-Full baskets, and if it's gonna be 1-1 female-headed entities, we'll take it.
The Women's League is also critical for coaches to spot talented players as the JFF moves towards making local-based players the focus of team selections. But now they are in a race against time to play ball. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.